Welcome to discussion number 12 in Philosophy as a Conversation. This week we're going to be discussing Margaret Olivia Little, the moral permissibility of abortion, and Sidney Callahan, a case for pro-life feminism. Margaret Olivia Little argues abortion can be indecent at times, but it's always morally permissible. She argues this by saying that the UDH would not even exist without a host, so therefore it is the host's decision ultimately to have the abortion or have the child. She also goes on to argue there are three major things that influence individuals' life whenever they're pregnant, so it should be the woman's right to have an abortion. The first being medical reasons. There are many medical problems that can be associated with pregnancy, and even having the child can, cause death. So the second would be social. She argues that you're more likely to be part of domestic violence. Well, statistically speaking, you're more likely to be part of domestic violence. You could be stuck in a bad relationship with the father. You could be a social outcast in your family. And then the third argument is personal. So intimate experiences like having a baby is going to change a woman emotionally forever, or change a father, you could say. Either way. But she also goes on to argue that it's going to change your practical identity. You become a mother at that point. It changes your priorities, your personality, your hormones. It changes everything. So even if you were to give the baby to adoption agency, it's still going to change you because you're not only creating a child, but you're becoming a mother at the same time. So that's her argument, the moral permissibility of abortion. Sidney Callahan, she has a case for pro-life feminism, and she argues against pro-choice. She says abortion is not only inconsistent with feminist care ethics, but it undermines it. So she compares feminist care ethics with maternal thinking in this sense. She takes four arguments and then compares her own pro-choice beliefs with them. The first common argument for pro-choice is the right to control one's body. So she argues that human life is a continuum throughout development. So debates similar to those about the fetus were once conducted about feminine personhood. Just as women or blacks were considered too different, too underdeveloped, too biological to have souls or to possess legal rights, so the fetus is now seen merely as biological. So the second argument that pro-choice people make is importance of autonomy. She says morality is not confined to the contracted agreements of isolated individuals. Yes, one is obligated by explicit contracts, freely initiated, but human beings are also obligated by implicit compacts and involuntary relationships, in which persons simply find themselves. Like society itself. We don't ask to be part of a society, but we are part of a society. So our third arguments for pro-choice is UDH's status is determined by the mother. She says human life from the beginning to the end of development has intrinsic value, which does not depend on meeting the selective criteria of tests set by powerful people. The fourth argument from pro-choice advocates says women's right to social equality. So she believes that it actually takes away from women's social equality. And if we're trying to get social equality for all people, if abortions were widely available, we'd have to also give men the option to have a say in if the child is aborted or if they're going to be part of the life of that child. She goes on to say that abortions do not empower women. It actually kind of does the opposite and makes them admit that they're not able to raise a child at the moment. They don't have a dependable mate, or they don't have the resources to do so. And then she also says that promoting sex as sport kind of undermines feminism, and a monogamous relationship is the ultimate goal of a feminist, and it's going to help reduce STDs, etc. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video this week. I definitely think Callahan had the stronger argument, because if I were in the veil of ignorance, I would most likely go with hers. I will see you guys next week for discussion 13. See you later.